I loved movies. I always thought movies talked to me. I had followed every good advice I ever got from them. And fortunately, I was born in the family where I had inherited a movie theater to run. It was neither fancy nor big. After all, it was just an old, small town, mostly decrepit movie theater inside the village of Forest Creek. I would not be wrong if I claimed it to be the only place of hangout for the residents. There, couples came on dates, oldies came to kill some time, kids came to enjoy those Disney movies. It worked fine for just about everyone. There was just one thorn in my side, though. It was that man wearing costumes of various characters that would show up in my movie theater from time to time. I had seen that man more than a dozen times by now. I was sure his intentions were not good. He lurked around in the darkness of auditoriums as if he was waiting for the right time to do something evil. Well, I had not been able to prove anything to anyone yet, and that is because no one believed me. Who knows why? Maybe no one was paying attention but me and did not see what I saw in him. Otherwise, a suspicious man roaming around in the costume was not hard to miss. You know what? Last week's assault on an elderly couple, where someone stabbed them multiple times in the dark during the climax of the movie, was his doing. I was sure. The week before, when a teen was slashed in the dark during another show, was him too. I knew it. How did I know? Well, for one, I was there when both of those attacks happened. I had rushed in to help myself. Just before I could seize that man, he was gone though. But the last thing I could be unsure about was that it was him. I had called the police on both the occasions. When they investigated everyone who had bought the tickets and were there on those days, they could not trace him. Well, how would they? He was not stupid enough to buy tickets. That bastard must have just snuck in to do what he wanted. I knew all of my employees were busy with work, so it couldn't have been any one of them. Nevertheless, I was sure that it was up to me now to stop him somehow. That is why I had started going around in all the shows more and more, looking for him, keeping an eye out. That was what I was doing the whole time these days. And then came yesterday. The new movie about the classic battle between a police officer and a serial killer had released. I had watched it enough times by the evening to memorize all the scenes. The cop in the movie had a purpose of a savior, someone who confronted the evil without giving two shits about the danger. I always wanted to live that way. But wait, maybe now I was getting my chance after all. Thanks to the mysterious man in the movie theater, I would be able to also rise up as a savior. If I catch him, I would be hailed as a superhero that nabbed the supervillain, just like in the movie. And just then, as I was sitting in an empty row at the back of the auditorium watching people watch the movies and occasionally stealing glances at my favorite scenes, there was a loud shriek from the seat in front of me. A middle-aged woman was wailing in agony, holding her neck. Her husband sitting next to her looked terrified as he found blood on his palms that had spilled from the woman's neck down to her arm he was holding. He screamed in terror as he struggled to grasp the situation. There was blood all over their seat. I went in to help. She was about to pass out, but he stopped her from collapsing. The lights were switched on and more people started to gather to witness the horror. "Somebody please call the cops," I heard someone yell. Like hell cops are going to do anything. I knew it was the time for me to step up just as I had planned. I jumped to action and scanned the scene in the dark as efficiently as I could. And just then, I saw that man sneaking out of the exit door. I was sure that bastard was looking back at me as if to mock me when he slid out. I think he wanted to challenge my skills of a potential superhero. Asshole. I did not waste a second. I leapt in the dark towards the door and swung it open. I peeked on both sides of the hallway. There he was, running away like a rabbit to his burrow, only to come out for his next victim in a few days. I took a deep breath and I set off after him. He took the left at the end of the hallway. I ran as fast as I could. Just as I made that turn, I saw him veer inside the men's washroom. I went right after him. I flung open the door to announce my presence. Maybe he knew by then that it was over for him and I had him. I did not quite see him as I went in, though. That bastard was still trying to get away. I took out the knife from my pocket. Strangely, it was stained in blood. Maybe I had injured myself while running after him with a knife in my pocket. I did not care. I had to catch the bad guy, just like the cop in the movie, you see. I started raiding all the toilet cubicles one by one, but I still did not find him. He was good at hiding after all. Then I was down to the last one. "It is over, asshole," I yelled and prepared myself for the final face-off. I kicked the door open and started wielding my knife. There was no one there. What a shame. Just as I thought he was not there anymore, I felt something. There was some movement behind my back. I was now sure that he was standing right behind me. I had to get him now. I screamed and turned around to face him. I was all ready to slash his flesh with my knife. And there he was finally, standing right in front of me, holding the blood-dripping knife in his hand, gasping yet grinning. The only thing I did not understand was how he got inside that mirror. I could see him in front of me, but could not get to him. The mirror laid in between. It was clear to me that he had gotten away again. But I promise you, one of these days, I'm going to catch him. Just like the cop caught the bad guy in the movie. And then, you guessed it, I too will be hailed as a hero.